Hey everyone, welcome back. And in this section, we are going to discuss about Azure Virtual Machine. So let's first try to understand what is virtual machine. A virtual machine is a virtual environment that functions as a virtual computer system with its own CPU, memory, network interface, and storage created on physical hardware system. A software called hypervisor separates the machine's resource from the hardware and provisions them appropriately so they can be used by the VM. Azure is built on a customized Microsoft hypervisor called the Azure Hypervisor, highly optimized for Azure Cloud, whereas Hyper-V is a generalized platform hypervisor used for the enterprise. The Azure Marketplace also provides pre-configured images that includes both an operating system and popular software tools installed for specific scenarios. In this section, we are going to learn various components on virtual machine and how to build it on Microsoft Azure. Azure Virtual Machines are one of on-demand computing resource or virtual machines developed by Microsoft Azure. Azure VM is based on infrastructure as a service through which the users can obtain more control over the environment to customize hosting or development environment. Azure VMs are widely used for a variety of purposes such as hosting websites, running databases, and running customized applications. When you create an Azure VM, you will have full control over the configuration and management of VM, including the operating system, application, and data. You can choose from a range of pre-configured virtual machine size and types based on your workload requirement, such as CPU, RAM, and storage capacity. Azure VMs also offers a high level of scalability and availability, allowing you to easily scale up and down your VMs based on changes in the workload demand. Azure VMs can be created using Azure Portal, Azure CLI, Azure PowerShell, and by using third-party software like Ansible and Terraform. In this series, we have covered all the labs building from Azure Portal and Terraform. You can choose from variety of operating system including Windows, Linux, FreeBSD. Let's try to understand the whole architecture. So you are going to have a user which needs to access the virtual machines hosted on Microsoft Azure. This user will be connected to the internet, and the connection this user is going to make to access the virtual machine is going to be a connection towards the public IP address allocated to virtual machine. This virtual machine will be part of the subscription, and the subscription will have the resource manager, and resource manager will have the resource group. Under the resource group, you are going to have the VNet. Under the VNet, you are going to have the subnet. And from this subnet, first fourth IP will be allocated to this virtual machine. To protect it from unauthorized access, you are going to have network and security services, which is called the NSG groups, attached to subnets. In these NSG rules, you can basically allow or deny the access based on network ACL rules. Let's now try to understand the types of Azure virtual machines offered by Microsoft Azure. The first type is going to be the general purpose. It has a balanced CPU to memory ratio, which is suitable for testing and development of database ranging from small to medium. Compute optimized. This type of Azure VM has high CPU to memory ratio, and it is best option for medium traffic web servers, network equipment, and application servers. Memory optimized. The memory optimized Azure VMs have high memory to CPU ratio. It is good for rational database servers, medium to large cache, and for memory analytics. Storage optimized. This type of VM possesses high disk throughput and I/O idle for data warehousing, NoSQL databases, SQL, big data, and big transactional databases. GPU. GPU is a specialized type of Azure virtual machines that are targeted for heavy graphics, rendering, and video editing purposes. They can also be used for modern training and differentiating with deep learning. The user can avail either single or multiple GPUs. High performance computes. These type of Azure virtual machines are the fastest and powerful CPU virtual machines that come with high throughput network interface, which is called RDMA. Now let's discuss how can we access virtual machine resources hosted on Azure Cloud. The type of connection I'm going to initiate is going to be the RDP in case my workload is Windows, and I will be doing the SSH just in case my workload is Linux or FreeBSD. A virtual machine can have two IP addresses. One is going to be the private IP address. This comes from a subnet range, which is a part of the VNet. And then optionally, you can have the public IP address. If I'm the user who is sitting on internet and do not have any backdoor connectivity to the VNet, I will be using the public IP address which is attached to virtual machine. I might be a corporation or an organization which will have a VPN tunnel or maybe the express route connectivity to VNet. That time I do not need a public IP address and I can connect my resources using the private IP address. Those are going to be the internally routed. You can also take help from this portal, which is going to be the VM selector or virtual machine selector. You might be aware of your workload type. You can use this portal based on workload type, based on your operating system and software, based on your deployment region, and it is going to suggest you the appropriate VM which will work for your requirement. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next section.